Shalom, Yasha'Allah, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, all praise to the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua for his mercy, his grace, keeping us safe throughout these last days, not taking his Holy Spirit away from us, and we're still enduring into the end. The Most High will increase our faith as the days come by, as all the times, rough times, or the trials and tribulations, and all the joyous times, and Most High willing, the Most High is increasing our faith and not giving us over to a reprobate mind and to our lusts and over to this world, right? Shalom, Yasha'Allah, all the sincere brethren out there, right? And as you see in this video, this is church versus state. A lot of people don't understand, aren't even familiar with that terminology, church versus state. But that church versus state is very, very important. Very important to understand what happened behind closed doors, what Esau had craftily, right, done his putting away of the laws of the Most High God in the minds and the subconscious of the people, right? First and foremost, let's get this right here. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Right? We're supposed to, of course, get wisdom, proper knowledge of the scripts, knowledge of self, and everything. A part of wisdom as well, you have to have proper understanding. Your understanding is not just knowing a breakdown. It's not just knowing what else? Knowing precepts. It's not just knowing you're an Israelite. Well, you got to know the state that you're living in. You have to be well aware of your environment. And the environment that we're living in is in Babylon. We're in the hands of the Edomites, the hands of the wicked. So we have to understand what's going on, right? And in the whole world, not just in Babylon the Great, but in the whole world, because Babylon oversees the whole earth. Not just understanding this for here, but understanding this for anywhere else, right? Because any and everywhere else, because of what Babylon the Great has done, they have systematically done the same in everybody else's mind, right? Whether you go to the Caribbeans, you go to the so-called Latin countries, so-called Caribbean, so-called Europe, so-called Asian countries, everyone, they think the same, and it's because of what? It's because of this man. Let's go right here real quick, and then we're gonna go to ChatGPT after that. All right, this is Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Right? Through his policy, he has caused craft to prosper in his hand. And that church versus state is a policy that Esau has implemented to do what? To cause craft to prosper in his hand. I'm going to keep going, and we're going to go to ChatGPT. It says, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, by peace shall destroy many. All right? This guy, he has destroyed many by proclaiming peace, by proclaiming what he has proclaimed with the notion of church versus state, which we'll go into it. Let's ask ChatGPT real quick. What is church versus state? Let's see what ChatGPT got to say. The phrase church versus state, more often phrased as separation of church and state. When we read the scripts, does the Most High God says separation of church and state? Or is the church is the state? And vice versa. Right? But let's keep going. Refers to the principle that religious institution, church, and government, state, should remain independent of each other and not interfere in each other's affair. This is what this guy has done. This is what this guy has done, right? I'm going to keep going. The main ideas behind it. I'm going to read this one. People are free to practice any religion or no religion at all without the government forcing a belief on them, right? This is the what they say that they looking out for people. Look, you could be a Muslim, you could be Christian, you could be even a Hebrew Israelite, you could be whatever you want, right? And we're not gonna interfere. You have the freedom that's the First Amendment, right? As it says right here, look, the example, the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment says Congress cannot make a law establishing a religion or prohibiting free exercise of religion. So this is what they said. They have said this right here so that they can do what? They can do whatever they want. And this is why this right here, it says, and through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper. But in the script, let's go real quick. I believe, what do I want? Exodus 18. Exodus 18. Let's go down. Let's go down. Right here. They'll say this is religion because they say anything that they say the Bible is religion. But let's see right here. Right here, it says Exodus 18:13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. This right here, he's judging the people. We have books called Judges and all that stuff. We have the Kings, the Chronicles. All these things are supposed to be church according to this society. But according to the Most High, that's not what it is, right? According to the Most High, this is church and state. But this is why these guys, they had to create that notion so that subconsciously people can do what? Say that the law is done away with. Because when people think about the Bible, people think of just fantasy stuff, right? And I believe ChatGPT should say that too. We're going to read on ChatGPT soon. But people think that it's just fantasy stuff. It's just having stuff, God stuff. But state governs what? Your everyday life, right? It tells you how to conduct yourself, what to say, what not to say, what to eat and what not to eat. Because they got the FDA to approve the food and disapprove the food. They disapprove you using herbal stuff to heal yourself. But they and if you give herbal stuff to your children and you don't give them their so-called poison that they got ready, vitamin B, K, whatever you may have, these guys, they come after you, right? So they dictate your everyday life. But right here, it's not supposed to be so. But let's read on right here. It says, and Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people. He said, what is this that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High, right? Because that's why, again, you see, he's judging, he's inquiring of the Most High. He's judging matters between the people. So that's both church and state. Just like when you go to court, you could inquire things in court. You could go to court because you're suing somebody in the court. You could be in court because you have a fault. The state have a fault against you. And this is all over the scripts. This is all over the scripts. Let's get an example real quick. I believe let's go to Joshua. Joshua and is it chapter 4? I think it's chapter 6. No, not 6. Let's see. When Salakia. Is it the 3rd chapter? When the people came, what's that? When that brother took the stuff and all Israel lost the battle. What chapter was that? But my point is let me try to find it out. But my point is with that is that you see how the people they were they judged the person. The person had to get judged because he did what? He sinned against the Most High. and they judged him, and his whole household got killed. His whole household got destroyed. Let me see. Is this it? Was it after Jericho? Okay, I think it's this one. Salakia. Right. Let me see. Right, it is 7:1. Right. This is Joshua chapter 7:1. It says, "But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, the son of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven, and on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai." But let's jump down to verse 5. It says, "And the man of Ai smote them, about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water." So we see right here, the man, he sinned, the sin of Achan, he sinned, and guess what happened? All Israel went down. Right now what happened after that? Right now it says, verse 10, it says, "And the Most High said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou upon thy face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except you destroy the accursed from among you. Up, sanctify the people, and say, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith the Most High, Yahweh, Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you." All right, I want to go down. I want to read the whole chapter. It says, I'm going to jump down to verse 16. It says, "So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribes of Judah was taken." All right. "And he brought the family of Judah," and that's a trial going on, right? That right there, that whole process, he had a trial. Just like when we go to court, they have a trial. They bring witnesses. They bring this. They bring that. They bring the accused, and then they trial that person. Right here, they bring in people. The accused. They know they finding out it's a tribe of Judah. Boom. Now from the tribe of Judah, and he brought the family of Judah, and he took of the family of Zarhites, and he brought of the family of the Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, the son of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, My son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Most High God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. So right here, our judging was very spiritual, right? Just like even right now, to this day, you see in African countries, to this day, how do they find a thief? They be having the broom, people going through the broom thing, right? That's very spiritual, and a lot of people don't be believing in it, but that these things are true. When you're guilty, and that's why when you're guilty, when you do wrong by the Most High, when you do wrong, what is wrong, it affects the spiritual, and the spirits right hand side and left hand side will not let you go until you just like the Most High said, I would indeed not let thee go until you have paid back your debt, right? Loosely paraphrasing, right? So right here he found out it was Achan, right? And now I'm gonna jump down. Right? Because they took the stuff. And then now verse 25, it says, and Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Most High shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burnt them with fire. And they had stoned them with stones. So right here, that was the punishment that happened to him. Not just him and his whole family. Right? But now, and that's why, again, our people, we used to judge based off of the scripts. And the Most High God, he used these harsh narratives so that he can do what? So that the all Israel can fear, right? And then so that they don't go and do whatever that this person had done. And then now everybody knows not to take anything from these heathens. So now people know not to do these things. So again, but now with that church versus state, people don't go by the separation that the Most High God has, not the separation, the judgment that the Most High God has conducted. People go by what? They go by the U.S. government, right? It says, now, no state religion. The government cannot officially endorse or establish one religion over others. Unlike some countries where Islam and Christianity is the state religion, the U.S. does not have an official faith, right? Limits. Religious leaders and organizations cannot directly control the government. Now, let me ask y'all this: would y'all say that Moses is a religious leader? Would y'all say that Moses is a religious leader, or was it a government official? Was Moses a religious leader or a government official? Right? And he was both. And we know, obviously, he was a religious leader, but he was king as well. He's the first king of Israel, as says the scripts. Let's get that. Where we at with it? Deuteronomy 33:4. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of Jacob, of the congregation of Jacob, and he was king in Jeshurun when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. So Moses was king. He was both, and he gave us the law. The Most High gave us the law through Moses. He was in contact with the Most High, and he was the king. So, again, he was both. King David was both, right? And obviously, Yahushua is both. He's king and priest. So, now, these guys in this state, in over here, they have put the limitation where religious leaders cannot directly control the government, when it's supposed to be like that. Because the government is supposed to do what's right by you. And what is right is what is righteous. Right is short for righteous. Righteous is what the Most High deems to be righteous, not what anybody else deems to be righteous. Look at now. Ever since 2012 or something like that, with Barack Obama, look at what he did. He put same-sex marriages. Look at now how they oppressing the Israelites, whether in the truth or out the truth. Look at how these people are oppressing the earth, feeding us nonsense. They put pesticides and all that stuff in everything. They put pork in everything, man. Gelatin in everything. They put a whole bunch of nonsense. Why? Because the government, FDA, all these guys, it's the government, they deem it to be so. But the Most High God never deemed it to be so. It's because of that separation of church versus state. Right? Now they try to say the government cannot shut down or control religious practices as long as they don't break public law. And this right here, this is why the Most High God, again, if the people don't understand the Most High, hey man, you don't understand the scripts, hey, I don't know what to tell you. What am I about to get? Revelation 7. I believe Revelation 7, right? Right here. It says, saying, this right here, this is Revelation 7 and 2, says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. This is another one. If I could think of it, most I will and I do. I'll pull it up. But this right here clearly shows us that, look, the Most High God didn't let them destroy all knowledge, the whole thing. And the Most High always, like it says, in the midst of temptation, he always provides a way out. So he always provides a way for us to understand what is going on. That's why, Esau might say, oh, we just made it fair. Nah, because that's the laws of the Most High. Even in your Satanism, which Satan told them, hey, they have to leave a way out for them, right? You could make it very, very, let's go right here real quick. Revelation 12. You could make it very hard for them to go out, but right like this, it says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth, Revelation 12 and 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, right? That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, right? The water is the knowledges and all the stuff that he tried to cover, right? He tried to flood us with a bunch of nonsenses, church versus state, but it's up to us to understand what's going on, right? To see what's going on and see that there's no separation of church versus state. This is, again, how these guys, they conquered the whole place. Let's keep going. It says, the government cannot shut down or control religious practices as long as they don't break public law. Public law. And this is why, as well, they trying to go with the ban certain things. You can't say certain things here anymore. You can't do certain things here anymore, right? Before that, you could say any and that, almost any and everything. But now, these guys, they have limited a whole lot. And they are still limiting a whole lot. But the Most High God is the one who has allowed these things to happen, so that we can see that, look, man, these guys, Esau, this is how he moves. This is how he always moved, right? Let's go. Let me show you. Let's go to First Maccabees 8. Let's start at verse 3. Actually, verse 4. It says, and that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place, though it were very far from them. These guys, they conquered the whole earth by their policy. You see, ever since they did that church versus state, I believe Woodrow, the president Woodrow something, right? He's the one that really enforced that, implemented that notion. And what has that done? That has eliminated a whole lot in the mind of the people. And now, through the process of times, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 16, through process of times, ungodly customs grown strong, now kept as a law. Paraphrasing. Right? So these guys, that's what they have done. These guys, their policies, they have grown strong. Right? And it says, though we were very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the utmost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. That's why they destroyed the Israelites. They destroyed us so that the whole earth could say, look, if these guys can take them down, because you don't understand what we were doing. During the so-called Dark Ages, we had empires. The Empire of Mali, the Empire of Haiti, the Tartarians, the Moors. All these was us. To America, all these was us. ruling and doing great things. And these things are true. There's so many proofs out there. But then now they buried a whole lot of it. But the notion is how these guys that overthrew us have put fears in the minds of the rest of the people. And then now everybody, they say, nah, these guys got it. These guys got it. Right? And then they bow down. That's why Moab bows down to Esau. Ishmael bows down to Esau. Ammon bows down to Esau. Elam bows down to Esau. And the Japhites bow down to Esau. Hamites bow down to Esau, because also they helped Esau overthrow us, but also they seen how Esau had the big master plan, and they did it. And Esau's master plan was to have the whole earth to be subdued under him, right? And that's why, again, that church versus state, you see how these guys, so that they can eliminate, right? Let's go to Daniel 7 real quick, right? Let's go to Daniel 7:25. This is why the precepts, they always come alive, right? Daniel 7:25, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. That's what this guy has done. He speaks great words against the Most High. The great words he spoke was what? Hey, man, I'm going to put away from your laws, man. I don't want nobody. I'm not going to govern my kingdom with your laws. I'm going to have my own laws. Right? That's what it says. It says, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until time and times in the dividing of time. And that's what they think themselves to be the Most High. Right? And they think that to change times and laws, that's what they have done. That's why now the church versus state, you see, even China abolished the Bible, damn near abolished the Bible, right? For sure, these other Arabic countries as well, right? Go to Nigeria, parts of Nigeria, they banished the Bible as well. And right here, over here in the so-called Americas, Babylon the Great, that's what they're getting ready to do. Right? They're doing what it is that the precept says. They're gonna change times and laws. They're gonna exalt themselves. He's exalting himself like the Most High, to be like the Most High. Right? Go read Isaiah 14:12 on down. So we see these guys, man, through their policies. That's why now our people, they have that notion. Even brothers in truth and sisters in truth, they don't understand that. So therefore what happens is that with that notion, they themselves, we don't necessarily see what's going on, and the flesh does have an advantage on the spirit, right? In a physical, in mainly speaking, right? The flesh has advantage on the spirit, because subconsciously we're not aware of these things. So now we got to understand these things and say, look, man, we see how Esau is moving. And we got to understand that the way Esau is moving is actually wicked. He has put it in the minds of the people that, look, people don't actually understand what's going on. And therefore now everybody's saying the laws is done away with. This is when the law was done away with, by Esau. Esau has done that by making sure that people don't see that, look, these guys, the laws of God, I'm making it null and void, putting church versus state. That's it. Right? Because church controls what? Actually, let's go back to ChatGPT. Right? Let me see. Chart of church versus state jurisdictions. Let's see right here. Right? There's a chart. Let's see right here. This is what they have done. Right? There's a chart of it. Church, religion, state, government. Now it says core rule: spiritual guidance, worship, religious laws. That's it. civil governance, law enforcement, public policy. That's all these guys are doing. So for you to believe church is just now, like I said earlier, when you believe in the Bible, when you talk about Bible, God, it's just, people just think automatically, oh, it's just spiritual stuff. It's just God stuff. It's just heaven stuff. That's it. It's just, you don't really have to go through that route in their mind. Now, the state one says what? It's civil governance, law enforcement, policy, public policy. So if it's public policy, what is that? If it's civil governance, what is that? That's your everyday life. When the church is supposed to govern your everyday life. You're supposed to live your life modeled after what the Most High God has says. All right? Now they try to say sacred text, tradition, clergy, right? That's the authority sources for church. For state is constitution, laws, elected officials. That's your authority source. But the laws are supposed to be what? The laws of the Most High. Simple as that. But now again, people don't go by that anymore because Esau has put that separation in the mind of the people, right? Because he think to change times and laws, but he hasn't done it for real. The laws of the Most High still prevail. It still hold weight, right? Punishment. Let's look at the punishment. Punishment, excommunication, blessings, forgiveness. Spiritual excommunication. People don't care about that. It's just, I'll deal with it when I die, or I'll deal with it later on. I deal with it. Things like, I don't care about that. But let Esau say, don't cross the street or I'm going to arrest you. What people going to do? Okay, I'm not going to cross the street. When Esau pull people over and say, license and registration, you don't give it to them, they're going to pull you out that car and arrest you. When Esau says, you don't do this, you don't do that, you better not do this, you better do this. You don't comply, what happens? Right? Look, legal, the church, the government is legal, fines, jail, civil rights. That's what these guys do. They made you separate the Most High from your reality. Because the state governs your reality. Although the spiritual aspect is reality as well, but it's not, you don't see it. So it's not in your forefront reality. It's not in your cortex. Right? So that's why now Esau has dominated us, right? And says the laws is done away with, right? Look at right here. It says, what this one? Limits cannot make binding civil laws and cannot impose or favor religion. Why can't this say cannot make binding spiritual laws or church laws for the government one? It says cannot impose or favor religion. That's not the same thing. This one just said, oh, you could choose whomever you want, but I still make the laws. But right here it says your laws don't affect our laws. It should be the same way around. Their laws should not be able to affect this law. Because like this, in New York City, you can't have religion. I believe now you can, but you have to go through a great hassle. But religious exempts. There's no religious exemption in New York anymore. Right? You really got to know what you're doing for you to be able to be granted religious exempt. So now, how can the government expand and make bindings on church laws, but the church laws cannot make binding on government laws? You see what I'm saying? So, again, that's Esau's craftiness, man. Esau's craftiness. And we have to see that this is, your religion is supposed to be your church. I mean, your government. Right? Let's go to First Maccabees real quick. First Maccabees 1 and let's see right here. Okay, verse 43. Well, actually, I'll start at verse. I'll start right here. Verse 40. It's actually 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And this is what these guys has done. They had the whole earth follows Esau. You see, Chinese, they're wearing suits now. Arabs wearing suits now, so on and so forth. Right? It says, and everyone should leave his laws. Right? Talking about laws, right? So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Right? And they have agreed to Esau's, they have consented to Esau's ways. It says right here, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. See right here, it says laws and religion are the same thing. Now, if you Google what is religion, definition of religion, Google gonna give you some bull crap, or even ChatGPT, they're gonna tell you religion is the belief of a deity. As soon as you believe in a deity, that's religion. That's a false description. Religion is right here. You see, religion and laws and governments is being intertwined, is being used. What's that word I'm looking for? I don't want to say simultaneously. It's not simultaneously. That's together. Interchangeably. I'll use that. They being used interchangeably. Whatever. Right? It's the same thing. So. Right? So it says, and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters unto Jerusalem, letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So your laws and the land is, and your religion is the same thing. And these guys, that's how these guys, they have managed to destroy the mind of the people. And now so many people, they don't know what's going on. Right? Let me go. So many people, they right? It says, John 4:22, it says, ye worship, ye know not what, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. Truth matters. The truth is the laws, is your what we know right now is our reality. Our reality is we're prisoners of wars. That's our reality. We're POWs over here. Right? Whether we are the aboriginals here, we're the aboriginals everywhere. We built this place. We built every system. We came up with all technology. But these guys, they stole and conquered and raped, robbed, and murdered us. So now, the truth matters as well. Not just the spiritual aspects. Reality matters as well. And we know what we worship. We got to know what we worship. Right? We worship in a God of truth. Right? So, again, that's why these guys, they have, right, like I said right here, the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. You can't worship him otherwise. It has to be in spirit and in truth. So our people, again, they don't understand that. Things go over their heads, and they start going with the narratives of the strange laws of the land, which says that which says that we don't need to keep the ways of this place anymore. Right? Let's get another one. Let's go to I believe 2nd Maccabees. What was it? 1st Maccabees. 1st Maccabees. All right, 2:19. It says, then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments. See that? Right here is saying the same thing. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the laws and the ordinances. So religion, laws, commitments, it's all the same thing. The government is all the same thing. All the same thing. And you cannot despise government. What's that precept? It's in Corinthians. Is it 14? Is it in Corinthians? Actually, I could search it right here. Government. Right? Oh, it's in Peter. 2 Peter. Okay, Salakia. Right? It says right here, 2 Peter 2 and 10. It says, but chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government. When people read this, they say, oh, you cannot despise the government, the laws of the land. You cannot despise the white man's laws. Blah, blah, blah. That's bogus. The Most High despised the white man's law. This government is talking about the government of the Most High, the laws of the Most High. You cannot despise his government. That's why King David says, who can raise hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? Loosely paraphrasing. Right? You cannot, because you cannot. And also Paul says, it says in the law, I forgot where, thou shalt not revile thy gods. And Paul said, and when Paul says, thou shalt not revile the rulers of thy people. That's the government. You cannot revile. You cannot despise the government. So now your religion and government is supposed to be one thing, because the government is not ruling based off of their own gain, their own notion, their own narratives, their own goals, right? Their own thing that they want. It's governing the people based off of what the Most High God has said, what he has deemed to be righteous. So we had to understand that, and in that, when that happens, no one has a biased mind, and everybody can wholly go and follow whatever is being said, because it doesn't come from man. It comes from Yahweh. It comes from the Most High above, right? So, and this is why now our people, we don't have a proper religion, right? We don't have proper notice, proper understanding, because our understanding is based off of what these guys has said, right? What these guys has said is a bunch of nonsense. Let me go ahead here real quick. James chapter 1:26. It says, if any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Esau's religion is vain, man. He doesn't bridle his tongue. He doesn't control himself. He says a bunch of abominable things against the Most High. So now that's why his religion, his government is vain. Even his religion that he gave us, because his religion that he gave us is against the Most High. The so-called Catholic, Protestant, so on and so forth. These religions, Islam, Judaism, all these things are against the Most High. It's vain, because pure religion is what? It says this: pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction. Look, we're being afflicted day in and day out. Esau still dropping bombs on quote unquote Palestine, right? And these Arabs are still selling us dog food in them delis, man. Right? And Chinese, Moabs, they doing the same. So no one is visiting the fatherless and helping the widows, right? It says, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. These guys are not keeping themselves unspotted from the world. They inviting. Now you got the flag the rainbow flag that's supposed to be for the Most High, but we have that thing on the churches saying that God is love and everyone's welcome, and no rebuking is happening. So they not keeping themselves unspotted from the world. They including themselves into the world. They're all inclusive now. When the Most High is not this, it's all exclusive. It's only exclusive for the elect and no one else. You don't want to be exclusive? Okay, cool. That's fine by the Most High. Don't make him no mind. So we got to understand now. We see that's that wicked religion, man. Right? Let's go James 3 real quick. That wicked religion. It says, well, I'll start right here. 3:13 says, who is a wise man and endured with knowledge among you? Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. That's what these guys got. Wickedness in their heart, right? It says, this wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. That's the religion of the so-called white man. And that's their laws. That's that church versus state. They control both sides now, right? Because the other side that they wanted to do away with, they put it all the way in the back burner so that no one can find out about it. But, the Most High always leaves a way out, of course, but not for Esau's doing. Esau wants to delete everything. And this guy, he's very confused, man. Very, very confused. And he's confusing everybody. Saying you could choose, you gender X, you gender this, you gender la. I'm in love, I want to go marry my car. Could you officiate me and my car getting married? People marrying alligators, marrying trees. Crazy nonsense. And this law says, this government, the state says that it's okay for them to do that. So with all our getting, we should always get understanding. And the understanding of the scripts is that the Most High God wants us to keep his ways, man. And his ways are all righteous. It's always right. It's always good. And people don't want to follow the Most High because people are following Esau blindly and not understanding the truth. Right? People are following because of that church versus state notion. All right? So we got to understand that and go about it. And that church versus state, it carries on to the spiritual aspect as well. Because in the spiritual aspect, our spiritual works, Esau made our people not believe in it anymore. I'm going to do a part 2 on this, touching the spiritual parts. Right? Because for you to know the virtue of plants, just like our forefathers did, and just like some people even to this day they do, like Solomon did, Esdras did, just to name a few. All the physicians of ours, they knew the what these things they hold, right? The virtue of plants, virtue of nature, the virtue of life, the elements, how to manipulate the elements. We seen how Raphael came and chased a demon by getting the inside, I believe, the gall of the fish, and he burnt it with incense, and the demons left her. And we see how Yahushua and Raphael as well healed the brother, healed Toby. I said Toby. Salakia. Tobit. He healed Tobit with the, I believe, the heart of the fish, the parts of the fish, right? And that and he did a concoction and put it against in the eyes of the brother, and his eyes, he started seeing again. It wasn't foggy anymore. So we knew how to, but now people hear these things. People say, oh, you're doing witchcraft. You're doing voodoo. You're doing this. You're doing that. These are crafts of the Most High. Right? Now they put what's that? A stench They put a stench, they put a bad name on people who are practicing these things, when this is how we used to heal ourselves, right? When our people used to go and inquire of the Most High by going to a Levite and inquire of the Most High. But now we understand as well, again, Esau controls all narratives, right? Even in the so-called voodoo aspects, witchcraft aspects, Esau controls the narratives over there on that side as well. To the point, just like in Christianity, just like now, people looking and searching for the Most High, right? Like I said, I'm going to make another video, but I'm going to just end it right here. But when people are trying to find the Most High, what people naturally goes to church first. They go to mosques first. They look into Judaism first, all that stuff, right? But these things are controlled by the Most High. So it's the same thing on the other hand side. When people are looking for spiritual works, they go to the bad side of it, to the ignorant side of it. But that doesn't mean certain things that's being done or that can be done is off, right? But you just like brothers know the scripts, right? You got to know what's going on as well on that side as well. You can't you can't make a judgment without knowing what's going on. So Esau knows all that. So Esau threw on a bunch of confusion and to keep our people away from their strength, away from the Most High, away from the knowledge of life, right? That church versus state, and they control all narratives, right? So that we can be drowned. But we're going to rest right here though, right? And with that, all praise to the Most High. Most High willing, this was edifying. And be on the lookout for part 2. We're going to touch on the spiritual aspects of this, all right? And with that, Kum Yashala, Shalom.